Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Now that Warzone is here with MW3, we've had a good amount of time to log some hours in it. I've been spending a lot of time diving in various different modes, whether it be Resurgence or standard Battle Royale, even some Plunder here and there, to try and get the full-on experience for this game so I could have as much gameplay experience as possible when it comes to giving you guys the most objective review I can give you. Is Warzone actually good this year? Obviously, we're coming off of Warzone 2, which I think we can all agree on for the most part was a huge step back from Warzone 1. Warzone MW 2019 and even Warzone Cold War, oftentimes considered to be the peak of Warzone as it is. Caldera, a little bit of a fall off there. I enjoyed parts of it, but there were some major drawbacks there. Then Warzone 2, changing the movement, the lack of updates throughout the year in certain areas was definitely a bit disappointing. Right away though, things are very different here in MW3 Warzone. Whether you're looking at the maps, the mode availability, the movement, the gunplay, a lot of changes. So today I'm breaking down my pros and cons, everything good and everything bad about MW3 Warzone. As we get into it, if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. It would be seriously appreciated. And if you're new here, you want to guarantee that every single day you are up to date with everything you need to know about Call of Duty, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. But let's start with my more general thoughts, more neutral thoughts, I guess you could say. And really, there's only one thing here that stands out in terms of something that I don't love or hate. I'm just sort of in the middle about it, and that is the time to kill, because it does seem to be pretty inconsistent so far. It is definitely noticeably longer in long-range gunfights with certain guns. It seems like when you're fighting out, 50, 60, 70, 80 meters and beyond, which is very doable now, especially with the MW3 guns being so low recoil, there's times there where it feels like you are shooting somebody a bunch and just getting hit marker after hit marker after hit marker, and they never go down. And that TTK seems pretty long, and I actually kind of like that because it does favor good accuracy and good aim and creates sort of a skill gap there. On the inverse, close range gunfights feel like an absolute coin flip, much like Warzone 2. Unfortunately, there are times where I feel like I melt players, there are times where it feels like I die in one bullet, and the flip-flop there of the TTK feeling really long in long-range gunfights and feeling super fast in close range is a little bit awkward to mess around with, just because of, like I said, the inconsistencies there. So there's some good elements to the time to kill, there's some bad elements to it, and that's mainly why I'm sort of neutral on that as of now. Now, focusing on the pros here, what I do really enjoy, what I do like about Warzone, there's actually a good amount here, and definitely way more than this time back during Warzone 2 last year, that's for sure. So initially, huge pro for me, the movement. It feels smooth. I do think Tac Sprint could refresh a little bit more often, but outside of that, the slide canceling, the parachute mechanics, the transitions between everything with mantling and everything like that, I really feel like it's very fluid here. I do think there are, like I said, some fine tweaks that could be made and some fine tuning that could be made, but overall, the movement is a huge improvement from Warzone 2, which was constantly feeling like you were stuck in the mud or walking around with concrete boots on. Did not like that whatsoever. Really enjoying the movement so far this year. For the most part, I also really like Urzikstan. I'm still getting used to the map, even though I logged a lot of time in zombies and got the mastery camo, got Borealis for MW3 guns. A lot of the buildings I'm still trying to figure out how to navigate correctly and how to engage with players who are on rooftops, because there is a lot of them. I feel like that's something only experience will change, but the map to me, one, looks really good. It's nice being in a bright map that's not overwhelming with, a ton of sand or a lot of open barren areas. There are some open spots to the map, but overall the navigation from POI to POI does feel pretty smooth. There's a good amount of vehicles. The cash flow on the map is also very good. There's a lot of regain opportunities. So to me, the map and the pacing there is fantastic. Speaking of pacing, do want to mention with 100 players even, I find myself pretty much in constant engagements, especially with the red dots showing on the minimap, the cash availability allowing you to spam UAVs, the different bounty contracts, the vehicle amounts that spawn in. I feel like I'm constantly able to run and gun, chase players, chase red dots, and there's very little downtime, it seems like. So that to me, the pacing I was really worried about with just 100 players, but honestly, I think it feels really, really good. Also, big fan of this gulag. I like the post-match looting. That's super cool. I can always leave with some extra cash. The actual events, the go again is always nice. The fact that the gulag changes the layout every time you're going through, it's different. There's like those few different variations. Also, I find that to be very fun as well. The gulag feels pretty refreshing, and I like that it's small, it's compact, and it's quick to the action there. It's not hunting and chasing players like in the MW2 gulag, which was probably one of the worst in my opinion. I sort of mentioned this earlier, but your ability to regain, really good in this game. Late game, even if you get taken out with how many redeploy packs there are or gulag tokens there are, really easy to get your squad back in it. There's, like I said, the cash flow. It's another pro that I have listed here. Easy to keep that 3K around to buy someone from your squad back. If you're trying to stock up money late game, there's plenty of contracts to do, and with all the action going on, you can always get some kills to get your cash up as well if they have it on their bodies. So the regaining and the cash flow, I feel like, is a huge step up from previous years. Another W that's sort of out of the match itself is the gunsmith this year. I like the fact that we don't have tuning. The only thing that I miss is the optic tuning. Being able to go near or far on your sights is really cool, but not having the complex gunsmith this time around, I can just put my attachments on and go. I love that. It's nice, it's simple, it's easy. That's a W for me. And on top of that, we've got the advanced stats, which is another huge W for me. I can optimize my loadouts. I can make it way more clear for you guys in videos why I'm choosing this or that over that or this. So the gunsmith this year, huge upgrades, and I do like the changes that were made there. And now let's focus on my cons, the things that I'm not a huge fan of with Warzone. And there are, I think, a decent amount here for things that I do think could be improved and should be improved over time. As I alluded to earlier, while I do love the movement, I feel like tac sprint is not resetting enough. So turning that up, making it so that we do get that tac sprint refresh a little bit faster would be nice to see. I don't also like the fact that multiplayer and zombies have the stamina bar visible, but we don't have that in Warzone. If it's in zombies, I feel like it should be in Warzone as well, right? So that would maybe help with things a little bit there so I can anticipate it a bit more. But as it stands right now, I feel like I'm not getting it enough. Even if I'm not spamming slide canceling, it seems kind of tedious waiting for it at certain points in gameplay there. For me, one thing I was really looking forward to based off the information and the teases and the leaks was the sniping meta so far this year, and admittedly, I'm pretty let down by that. The cat being the one true sniper that you can one-shot with without having to use explosive ammo, like I think Tony went through and tested the MCPR and the intervention, the Imperium. Those can one-shot if you use explosive ammo. That's all right, but I don't want to be limited and forced to use one thing. I want to have that healthy sniper meta where I can snipe aggressively and one shot within 60 meters, or I could snipe slow and one shot over 200 meters. The sniping meta is super limited so far, so I'm a little bit bummed out by that. Arguably the biggest issue that I have with core gameplay in this game is the audio. It just doesn't feel like there is any. The footstep audio just does not exist. I don't know if we need bone conduction headset in Warzone or something, but I have had squadrons run up on me when I'm in a building or I'm, maneuvering throughout the map, and they're just on me all of a sudden, and I hear nothing. There's zero anticipation. Could not hear them running around me. Couldn't tell if they were coming from the left or the right, if they were beneath me, above. The audio, the directional audio, footstep audio, character audio, it's not good. It needs updated bad. And I don't know if that's just simply turning the footstep volume up or changing certain settings in the back end or adding in new equipment, but something has to be done there because it seems like you almost have permanent dead silence except for very one-off situations where you might hear a couple of footsteps, and even then, they're not very consistent. Something that definitely changed for me with the Season 1 update and the launch of Warzone is the crashing. I really didn't have hardly any stability issues or any crashing issues throughout multiplayer or all my time in zombies throughout the preseason. The second Warzone dropped and Season 1 dropped, I'm now getting a couple of crashes a night. At least there's the rejoin feature. That's a W for sure. Although I did have one specific situation where I crashed, I rebooted the game, went to rejoin, and as I was rejoining, I crashed on the menu. And then it wouldn't let me rejoin anymore. I had my one opportunity and the game crashed on it, and I couldn't get back in the match. So the crashing and the server stability there needs to be better. Servers outright is another one of my cons. It's still Call of Duty servers. I do not understand why year over year the servers do not get upgraded. The netcode is garbage. This is why hitreg feels so bad. This is why people think that skill-based hitreg exists. The servers suck. Sometimes it feels like you are aiming perfectly on somebody and your bullets just don't register right because the servers and the netcode and the peer-to-peer engagements there are just so bad. The servers need to be upgraded, and this has been a reoccurring topic in every single Call of Duty review that I've done in several years, and it's yet to change. And I'm far from the only person talking about them. I don't have faith that it's ever going to happen at this point, because it's been a main issue for so long and it's gone unmentioned and ignored for so long. Another thing that obviously needs updated, and this again is a repeated thing every single review, the anti-cheat. It's nice that it does exist and it does a job to a certain extent, but it's a pretty limited certain extent. Hackers are still very rampant. I've already seen clips of aimbotters and spinbotters and all sorts of crazy stuff there. The shadow ban system and the spam reporting also sucks as well. Plenty of innocent players get shadow banned because someone's angry and spam reports them. No matter how much they say spam reporting doesn't actually do anything, there's clear evidence out there that players who are not doing anything wrong do get shadow banned, and then players who are actively cheating aren't, which is obviously a huge issue in and of itself. So the anti-cheat also needs updated too. And then this is a super nitpicky thing for me, but pinging in game, the live pings and like trying to ping a location, they just don't really stand out all that much, or sometimes they don't show up at all. I'm trying to like ping, hey, there's a squad on this apartment building, and I try and ping the building, and then I should have a green ping showing up, and I'm like, wait, I don't even see my own ping sometimes. Then my teammates are like, yeah, it's just pinging the middle of the map for me. The ping situation and the live ping situation seems like it needs some fine tuning there. It worked pretty well in Warzone 1, and then I feel like we've just regressed with every integration since then. So hopefully that's something that could be updated as well. For what it's worth, I do think it's a little bit too early to be discussing in depth whether the weapon meta is super broken or super healthy. There are some standouts in both directions, obviously. Same deal with the perk meta there as well. But overall, I do feel like there's more positive things I can take away from this Warzone experience as opposed to negative, which I haven't said in 2 Warzone integrations. So I'm glad that we are trending in the right direction, and this is a very solid starting point for the year. However, I do expect that, by season 2, season 3, season 4, the end of the year leading into Cold War or whatever the next game is going to be, right? It's going to be in a much better place across the board. There's some solid things right now. I'm really enjoying gameplay. It's definitely not a flawless product though, and we do need some upgrades and some improvements in other areas for sure. A rating out of 10 for me, I'm gonna say it's probably a high 7, a low 8 right now. I'm pretty much back in the place now in the mental space where I want to grind Warzone, and outside of ranked for Warzone 2, I didn't want to grind Warzone. The gameplay experience felt like a chore and not like fun, and this to me so far has been very fun. So that's my overall opinion, my overall in-depth review of Warzone MW3 as of now. We'll have to see how things change over time and how my opinion on the game changes over time. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. You guys enjoying your time? What things do you want to see changed or improved? What do you think should stay as is because it's a good change? Definitely curious to hear what you guys have to say. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. And if you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.